Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Equity Guys pre-market video. My name is Chirag, NISM certified technical analyst, and let's get into the view for today. So, as we discussed yesterday, S1 was going to be a very important sort of support that was going to be there, and in fact, S1 was a very important support. That 25 50 levels that we talked about exactly was respected there, came down to 25 48 and then bounced back up. So I mean the levels we talked about was exactly correct there. So let's go on to the data for today. Looking at the data for today, we see that Nifty futures is trading at a premium of 95 points, Bank Nifty futures is trading at a premium of 245 points. So both bullish in both Nifty and Bank Nifty. Moving over to India VIX is up 2.72%. So with it being up 2.72%, the bearishness is starting to kick in, but overall levels at 10.40, it's still pretty bullish in nature here, but the bearishness is starting to kick in into India from the India VIX perspective. Looking in at crude oil from an intraday perspective, it is up 1.10%, so we can expect a little bit of bullishness aspect coming in from the crude oil futures. But then looking at the overall level, a bit being below 6,500 levels, we're still very bullish on that aspect. Looking at both gold and silver Bs, we see gold Bs down 0.28% and silver Bs down 0.48% here. So that is a negative aspect from both gold and silver Bs. And looking at gift nifty, we see a slight gap down of 10.2 points here, but that is should be a slight gap down to a neutral open, which should not be much of a problem. But let's see what's going to happen in the rest of the day. Looking at the sectors, we do see that the auto sector is tanking a little bit here, and the IT sector is also doing a little bit bad here. BankX is staying a little strong, but it is on the neutral side here, so which is not really good. Overall, looking at the sectors, the key sectors here are doing pretty bad, so it might I would say that there is more of a negative outlook on today because these key sectors are doing pretty bad here. So 3 out of the 5 sectors are somewhat on the verge of doing pretty bad here. So I would say today is a bit of a cautious day, or a little bit more of a bearish day is what I would say here from looking at the sectors side of things. Looking at the NSE data, we see that there are 1,711 advances and 1,356 declines, which is bullish in nature. We are having more stocks close towards the day high than towards the day lows, so that is definitely positive in nature there. So having this in place, we are seeing a little bit more of a bullish sentiments coming in from the stocks perspective. Looking at the FNO segment, the FIAs and DIAs data, in the cash market, we do see that the FIAs have sold for about 1,268 crores, and the DIAs have again started buying of 1,900 crores. In fact, the DIAs have been consistently buying here, and looking at the FNO data in the index futures, FIIs are still buying here. There's about 200 crores of buying in index futures, and in stock futures you can see again selling of 1,661 crores. So from an intraday perspective, we are still looking a little bearish because of the selling in the stock futures and the selling in the cash futures, and from a long term perspective too, it is looking a little bad for selling in the um, stocks on the cash market too, right? So moving on to the advanced decline ratio. The advanced decline ratio for Nifty is not looking too well. Only 15 advances and 35 declines, whereas Bank Nifty is doing pretty well. 7 advances and 5 declines. So a little bit of weird data. Yesterday, Bank Nifty was negative, Nifty was positive. Today, Nifty is negative, Bank Nifty is positive. So I would say it's still more on the neutral side of things, but neutral leaning towards the negative side is what I am expecting here. Moving over to the the expiry. Yeah, looking in at option chain here, today is an expiry day here. So it being an expiry day, we do see that there is good amount of support and resistance in the certain levels, but looking at the overall option chain, we do see that On the left side, which is calls, we do see selling in both in and out of the money. And on the right side, which is puts, we do see selling out of the money, um, and we do see buying in the money, but a little bit of selling also has happening in the money here. But overall, the option chain is bearish in nature. Keeping the option chain mind bearish in nature, we actually have two sort of key levels where all the volumes are, which is 25,100 to 25,50, which we can expect the market to actually be range bound in these levels today. So just a 50-point range is what we're expecting here. So this could actually be a boring expiry coming into today. Moving over to the global indices, we do see that Dow Jones is positive of 0.11%, S&P 500 positive of 0.47%, Nasdaq in a positive of 0.94% here. So definitely positive in all three aspects there. Looking at the European market, DAX positive of 0.21%, FTSE on a neutral but a neutral negative of 0.07%, but CAC extremely positive of 0.92% here. Keeping that in mind, Nikkei is open today. When Nikkei is open today, we see it is a positive of 0.3% open and running, and Kospi is again, positive and running at open of 0.86% here. In Nikkei, we do see that they had a gap up with a sharp sell-off and then a recovery coming again today. But in India, because we don't see the gap up again, we could have, and looking at how the data is, we could have more of a neutral range bound market today. Here might not necessarily follow what Nikkei is doing, but again, because there is it is the what do you say, it is the expiry day. We can expect that two-sided market that will be happening. But looking at the data, that is a little rare for it to happen today. Looking at the list of ADRs, again, not looking to good major companies like ICICI Bank, Wipro, Infosys, Dr. Reddy's, all seeing extremely negative data here. Only HDFC seeing even 0.03% of buying, and Make My Trip with 0.19%. But again, ADR's data looking very, very negative here. Looking at stock futures here, or just the futures segment here, we do see that US 30 is up 0.02%, US 500 is up 0.04%, and US Tech 100 is up, you know, US Tech 100 is up 0.04%. US 30 is up. Is down 0.02%. Sorry. So as you can see here, pretty neutral data coming in from the futures segment, the US futures segment here. Looking at the view for today is definitely going to be a range bound day, and the market is also sitting at around 1.03 at the PCR, which is at neutral levels. But as soon as it can come down to that oversold level without the market coming down as much, maybe maximum to the gap zone, and then looking at a reversal, will definitely be a positive thing in the longer term, long term for next week sort of view, right? So that would be a very positive thing if you can come down to the oversold level without losing much on the index here. But apart from that, today might be a very range bound day, because the expiry, very boring expiry, is what we could expect here. But keeping that in mind, guys, make sure you guys trade your setups, not the the view. Make sure you're trading one index, one time frame, and make sure you're not trading your emotions. Keeping that in mind, hope you guys have a great trading day. See you guys tomorrow for the view.